Hey man, I really just did not want to play. I really just did not want to tune my guitar down to drop D to just to learn or just to play Lithium by Nirvana. I'm not my tuner broke a few weeks ago. I'm not doing it right now. Well, I suppose I had to make this video at some point. Bruins lose at home for the first time this season in regulation. Not just first time losing at home in regulation. The first time they are shut out is at home in regulation against the Seattle Kraken, 3 to a big fat goose egg. Welcome back to the Night Everybody. I'm your host, Andre Bax. And this game felt like one that was out of our reach from the moment that that the first goal was scored. I mean, it's not even just the this game was home to a lot of firsts for this season. Not just the first time the Bruins lost in regulation on home ice, and not just the first time the Bruins got shut out this season, but it's also the first time that Hingham native Matty Beniers made his way back to TD Garden, and for the first time in his NHL career, the first time he is playing in Boston. And good to see a local boy show up. And second of all, it is the first time that Juna Koppinen has seen NHL ice. The Bruins this week, I think either early Wednesday morning or late Tuesday, they sent Chris Wagner down to the AHL and called up Koppinen, who's honestly been doing pretty decent in the AHL. In 34 AHL games, he's had 5 goals for 14 points for 5 goals, 14 assists for 19 points in 34 games, and has had 4 goals, 4 assists for 8 points in his last 10, which just means that he's scored 4 of the 5 goals that he's scored all season in the AHL in the last 5 games. That's in the last 10 games. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, first period puck drops, and both teams come out of the gate looking just a little bit tired. They don't look. Both teams look like they didn't get too much sleep, which is kind of stupid for the Bruins, because you haven't played since the 8th. You're on 4 days rest and you look this bad. And I feel confident saying that. I feel confident saying that this is the first outright bad performance that the Bruins have had all season. First goal, honestly, I can't put on anyone. That is just an insane redirection from Brandon Tanev. And as much as I dislike Brandon Tanev due to him being frustrating to play against while he was on in Pittsburgh, I think you can't put that on. The only person that I can really put that on is the defensemen not covering that pass from Sprong to Tanev, because that is a goal that goes in on a negative angle. That is a goal that goes in from behind from pretty much behind the red line. Think of it as sort of that redirection, the redirection form of that goal that Kirill Kaprizov scored off of Jake Ottinger's, off the back of Jake Ottinger's head like a week or a week and a half ago. You fired that thing like 85 miles an hour off the back of this dude's head, and you did that intentionally to score a goal. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Because Allmark for the rest of the period is absolutely just standing on his head to to block everything that is coming his way. And honestly, it frustrates me whenever our goalies need to play good to for us to still be in a game. It's sort of I forget who said it. I think it was I think someone said that their soccer coach at one point and said if the goalie has to touch the ball, it means that 10 people in front of him made a mistake. And you can say the same thing about hockey. If the goalie has to play well, it means that the other 5 skaters on the ice are not doing their job. Anyway, Schultz ends up going for tripping as which would be the only power play that the Bruins take all game, which honestly is dumb. Because there are at the very least 2 other penalties that could have gone against Seattle that didn't. And there was a cross-checking in the second period, and third one, the third one I will absolutely go over. Second period, puck drops. The Bruins right off the bat look like they've woken up at least a little bit. But it definitely feels like a good shift, bad shift kind of night where they'll have like a good minute and then a bad minute and then a good minute and then a bad minute, that sort of stuff. And I'm looking, I'm like, the Bruins don't look bad for like half the second period. Why are the shots 20 to 11 in favor of the Kraken? Why are the Bruins playing so slowly? And then it sort of clicked in my mind that the Bruins are just playing slow this game. And it sort of reminded me of the issues that we had against Carolina in the playoffs. And that is we came into that I mean, we did not come into that game as the better. We did not come onto that series as the better team at all. Well, Carolina was undoubtedly the better team, and there's nothing that anyone can say to prove me otherwise. But half of what made Carolina such a good team in those playoffs was that they played fast. They played fast defense. Like every single shift for Seattle, you could see as soon as someone on the Bruins got their stick on the puck during in the defensive zone, you could see guys like Jamie Alexiak, Carson Soucy, freaking Will Borgen, Vince Dunn, and all of them just gunning it for the defensive zone or just converging on the puck handler and cutting off any sort of passing zone. Like big ups to Seattle for the way they played this game. They absolutely exploited any sort of weakness that the Bruins had. And I think going into the All-Star break in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, that a loss like this is probably going to be a lot worse in practice than it looks on paper. But Ullmark still looks good. Ullmark still looks amazing. And then Ellie Tolvanen and just rings the puck around the rosy on the top shelf. He hits the inside post and it just wraps around the top of the goal net to put the Kraken up 2-0. Period ends 40 seconds later. Puck drops for third period. Daniel Sprong shoots the puck wide on a breakaway. Anyway, that was sort of a thing. That was sort of a theme for this game. Both teams had a fair amount of breakaways. Neither team could capitalize on any of them. And then in the third period, we get to the most infuriating thing for me. Adam Larson and Taylor Hall. It is always fun when these two play against each other because they were traded 1-for-1. They were traded in Adam Larson for Taylor Hall straight up. And honestly, kind of an equal trade to be completely honest. Is back in 2016-17, Adam Larson for Taylor Hall was an equal trade. Anyway, Larson and Hall are battling for the puck in the corner, and Larson falls on Hall. And then for like 5 seconds afterwards, he is he is pushing him. He is pushing him to the ground, and as Hall is trying to get back up, he is pulling it on him like, call a holding. Did that all of a sudden stop being a penalty? And then we get to the Bruins 6-on-5. Oh my god, the Bruins 6-on-5. We pull Allmark with almost 5 minutes left in the game, which is ballsy. I know we're down 2-0, but even still, I get a little bit anxious whenever we pull the goalie with more than 4 minutes left in the game. It definitely feels like a territory of you're getting into like hardcore desperation on this one. But either way, we pull Allmark and right off the bat, right after we pull him, we get like a good 2 whole minutes. It's without play stoppage, just continuously in their zone. And during the time where you are putting on shot after where you are putting on continuous pressure on the defense, they can't really switch out very well. The goalie is kind of getting irritated with everything coming his way. How many goals do you think the Bruins score on this one? If you answered anything more than 0, I have some really bad news for you. Jaden Schwartz ends up just sporting the puck all the way into the empty net. That's the third goal that ends the game. I feel like I'm angry there. I feel like I'm angrier than I probably should be about this, but at the same time, I don't think the Bruins should have lost. This definitely was not a game that the Bruins should have lost. And looking on the bright side, the Leafs also lost tonight, so we didn't really lose any ground in terms of the lead. Like, dude, even after we lost, we're still 9 points ahead of the Leafs. We are still 4.5 games. We are still 4.5 4 wins and 1 overtime loss over the second best team in the league. That is how dominant that the Bruins have been. But after a game like this, man, I just don't know. I mean, we have Toronto on Saturday, but I don't know. This loss hurt me. This wasn't a trap game like I would assume that a game against Seattle would be as of last season, and because Seattle's actually good this season. Seattle is fantastic this season, and Matty Beniers is going to win the Calder this season. He is absolutely going to win the Calder this season. And I just don't know. This loss definitely felt like a one that you and that everybody watches is the film on, and everybody the opponents that you have going forward watch the tape on and study it like a freaking like a dedicated student. And lastly with this game, this game sort of just showed just how much Jake DeBrusk is a part of this team. People have been awfully critical about Jake DeBrusk and him being streaky. But you know what? What's one thing that he brings to this team? Nobody can at all deny the fact that DeBrusk brings an element of speed to this game. While you can possibly criticize him about being streaky, his streakiness definitely comes from just his pucks not finding the back of the net. It's not that because that dude works his ass off. I guarantee you, if DeBrusk is in this game at least goes to overtime. And I don't mean that as in DeBrusk scores 2 goals. I mean that as in DeBrusk creates it's another layer of offense that the defense has that the Kraken's defense has to account for, and allows separation for guys like Bergeron, like Marchand, like Pasternak, like Coyle. It allows for them to get better separation than they did this tonight, and like speed is powerful. Even if you are not scoring, it can provide a distraction. And that's really the best way I can really sum it up tonight. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And that's going to be it for tonight. There's the like button. There's my channel. There's my most recent video. Down there is my twitch.tv. I will see you guys on Saturday. Take care.